And now on to the first Youth Canada Council.
Great, thanks so much for having us. So we are representing the First Robotics Canada Youth Council, and we're really excited to speak to you all today. So first things first, we can do a little introduction of ourselves. My name is Emiko. I'm in grade 12 this year, and I'm on team Alta 4, which is 7558, and this is my second year on the Youth Council.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia. I'm from team 7456, and this is my first year on the Youth Council. Oh.
Oops. Let's try that again. Hey everyone, I'm Victoria. I'm from team 5406. I'm in grade 12, and this is my first year on the Youth Council.
Great. And we wanted to start off today with a little land acknowledgement. We know that we are on an online platform, though the conference normally would not be held virtually, but we are still occupying spaces, and we are sort of sitting in our homes and connecting here from a place on the land. So we still thought a land acknowledgement was relevant today. We're getting to the time of year where we're really close to Thanksgiving, and this tradition of gratitude is one, at least in Canada, that's been passed on to us from the Indigenous people. So the land acknowledgement is in that same tune. It's also something that we're adopting from these people. It's a really important act of reconciliation to acknowledge that we are all newcomers to this land. Settlers displaced Canada's original people, disrupting their way of life for the benefit of our own. As the Canadian First Youth Council, we believe that an important part of embracing our nationality, which is Canadian, is acknowledging and recognizing our history, even when that makes us a little bit uncomfortable. So thank you for giving us the space to make a land acknowledgement today. You might have heard one before, but we want you to try to be mindful and really actively listen as you hear this one. This is an acknowledgement for the space that I currently occupy, which is the North York area in Ontario. I would like to honor the original people of this land, to say thank you for taking such good care of our mother, the earth, so that we could all have a place to call home today. Thank you to the Huron peoples, also known as the Wendat Nation, the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Five Nation Confederacy, the Three Fire Confederacy of the Anishinaabe, which includes the Mississauga of the New Credit. These are the original people of this land, and we as settlers and newcomers have a responsibility to honor these people by acknowledging them and taking good care of this land and each other.
Thank you, Emiko. That was really cool. So I live in Hamilton, and I think it's really cool that at my school we do a land acknowledgement every day, along with the anthem. So I know that Hamilton is situated on the land of the Haudenosaunee and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. And I also learned that from going to nativeland.ca, which we will explore in the next slide.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome that we're doing land acknowledgements because it's really important to acknowledge the land that we're on since it was originally not our own. I know at our school we do not do a land acknowledgement every day. We do, however, do it when we do assemblies.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing, you two. And now we'd like to open the floor to all of you out there watching to sort of do a little bit of research and think actively about the spaces that you occupy and where you call home. So we'd like you to visit nativeland.ca, which will be put in the Twitch chat, and take some time to explore the site. Maybe you'll learn something new, and if you do, we'd love to hear it. So please drop those findings in the chat.
Now we're just going to get into our roundtable discussion. So the purpose of our segment today isn't really isn't really like in a formal setting. Obviously, we're all together via Zoom, but we're really just going to have a discussion as a council. We encourage you guys to join in too in the chat, just about staying motivated during canceled season number 2.
Yeah, so we know that many teams are really doing things very differently. This year, we're probably going to see the most diversity across the board in terms of what teams are putting together. So we've sort of compiled a list of some ideas that we think you might be able to do with your teams, or things that we've heard that some teams are doing, and hopefully they'll be helpful to you. I know that my team is really involved with FLL mentoring, and this year we're trying to do the same. So we're tuning in on a virtual platform similar to the one we're using today, and talking to FLL kids about the different skills that the program usually develops. So we're teaching them how to code on EV3 Lego Mindstorms, and we're also talking to them about the innovation project. So that might be something that might work well with your school. Even if an FLL team isn't established, you could always create sort of an after-school call with some younger children and go over these concepts.
Which I think ties in really well to focusing on skills. There's a picture of Julia there with the drill, so she might talk a little bit about that, even though it isn't quite possible to focus on skills in person with a team anymore. I think it's still probably beneficial for if you can get together with your team and maybe CAD a thing, like something very simple, or teach programming, like very basic program a thing. If you have access to your robot, maybe like make a little auto and play it for everyone via live stream or something like that. Something simple to keep yourself like motivated during these times.
Yeah, definitely. That picture was taken during last year's build season, and that was when we were trying to install the motors to our robot. It was quite difficult because it was our first time using swerve drive. We actually ended up winning the innovation in design, I think, for that, which was really interesting, and it kind of showed that all of our hard work paid off. So yeah, definitely a good idea to work on skills, and if you can't meet up with teams, you can always do some at home, get some nice YouTube tutorials up. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's many
for sure
to be a bit more creative this year, but there's still a lot of ways that we can continue to learn. So on this side, we've got some more ideas for keeping people motivated. Competition is always nice. It's nice to have, a little bit of friendly competition to push yourself to improve. We'd recommend little design competitions within your team, just because your team as a whole might not necessarily be competing against other teams doesn't mean that you can't have some friendly competition between each other.
Emiko, do you want to explain more about the next picture, innovation projects?
Sure. This is a picture of me, and it's actually a screenshot of a Zoom call, which is very relevant. So you can definitely the innovation project is part of sort of how FRC is looking this year. So that's definitely a great way to still get involved with FRC. And even if you didn't want to do it directly through the program, that's definitely a project that you can work on in a virtual environment, just like you see in this picture. That's something that you can collaborate on in a call very easily, just having that discussion with each other and doing the research on your own, meeting and catching up on it, and then going off and sort of working on those separate pieces. That's we think that the innovation project is a really great way for you to still get involved this year.
I have to say, I love the pictures, by the way.
Yes, for sure.
I can talk about personal project because that is one of my personal projects right there. So I think something that's really important to keep doing during the times where there's so many unknowns is just keep doing what you love. So that is one of my personal projects right there. I really like drawing. I'm sure maybe many of you have seen my artwork on Instagram at FRC Doodles, but one time I went to the beach and I found a piece of charcoal on a rock. So that's what I did. I drew a picture on a rock. The point of that is, I think it's really important to continue doing what you love. Including drawing on a rock. Find new ways to do what you love. And
this is one of those sort of great opportunities, I think, for show and tell in terms of within teams. Even as the youth council, we're always learning new things about each other at all of our meetings. We kind of can bring something to a meeting and show it, like Victoria might show us some of her drawings. And I would definitely encourage teams to try to incorporate those more personal elements into practices, because we are all sort of holistic people outside of being in robotics, and it can really strengthen a team to learn those types of things about each other.
For sure. So the next one is mentorship and team wellness. Emika, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, it's a really tough time right now for many people. I think that's not really a secret. And being in a team environment is, I think, really important because it gives you that community to have some support during this time. So focusing on mentorship and team wellness right now is really important, making sure that everyone on your team is sort of doing okay and having those check-ins. I think being on an FRC or FTC team is sort of gives you a really safe space and environment to be real about how you're feeling. So this is definitely a really important time to continue to check in with your team and stay engaged, stay involved, and make sure everyone's kind of getting through this together. So on that line, go ahead.
That's okay, go for it.
On that line of wellness, we've compiled some resources for you to recommend to your team or read yourself that will help you say, sort of uplift you, give you strategies to move forward with your team. These are two books that we would highly recommend: The Power of Habit and Braiding Sweetgrass. The Power of Habit is really interesting. It's sort of about the psychology behind habits and schedules and why we behave the way we do, essentially. And I think there's a lot of things in that book that you can pull to using within your team. Braiding Sweetgrass is about plants, and sort of it goes back to the land acknowledgement that we did at the beginning, sort of having a gratitude for the land that we live on and returning, I guess, to those roots. Wow, pun unintended, but those are both really great books that we'd highly recommend. If you have any book suggestions, feel free to put them in the chat and we can start that conversation.
So on this next slide, we have more ways to relax and de-stress, which you can totally do with your team, not together, obviously, like virtually via Zoom. I think you have movie nights. Does anyone have any movie recommendations?
I know up on the screen we have The Hate U Give, which I found is a really good movie, really touching. I don't know if anyone else has any other movie recommendations.
I know what I did. I watched last year's 2056 Ways to Inspire. I don't think that's a movie. Maybe watch that if you want.
Yeah, go on YouTube, watch some good old FRC reels.
Yeah, educational videos. Now would be a great time for that.
Yeah, we have lots of time I know in quarantine, we had lots of time to, educate ourselves on different topics. So lots of new educational movies out there.
And I think Emiko, you're really into number puzzles and crosswords. Am I right?
Yes. I love puzzles, and especially number puzzles, like you said, like Sudoku, Ken. And those are great crosswords too, though I'm not very good at them. Those are also really nice ways to get your brain involved and also relax at the same time. If you wanted to incorporate that into your team for Victoria, you could probably put up like, puzzle competitions and things. There's definitely ways we can get creative to still keep the team together and cohesive while also branching out into areas that might not be directly related to robotics.
Yeah, puzzles are a great way to de-stress. Also, you can definitely host team game nights via Zoom. That's what my team does. So currently we aren't doing any of the other things that we've mentioned because there are just so many unknowns for us. So what do? We just pull up Pictionary. We play that for a couple hours and we have a great time. I think it's really good to check in on everyone else and make sure they're doing well during this time. So it's just really funny. It's awesome. Honestly, Scriblio, it's online Pictionary. It's just a really great time. It's really funny. I can definitely recommend online Pictionary.
Oh, yes. And I know Youth Council had a little game night to get to know each other when we first started meeting, and that was lots of fun. We did code names. Yeah.
Code names is really fun.
And with the get to know you, I think you bring up a really good point, Julia, because especially this year, at least for our team, we had a lot of grade 9s who were really excited to join and get involved. And now we're not really able to meet them face to face, which is a little bit tough. But having these sorts of game nights, more relaxed, like social Zoom calls or what have you, is a nice way to meet those new team members, sort of get them involved in the team, and then you can start bringing in those skill videos and skill improvement tasks after you get to know each other a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember last year when we were still able to meet in person, we did a bowling night with our team, which was really fun, and that's how we got to get to know each other, and it was just lots of fun.
I definitely think it's important to still keep that tradition alive. Just, don't do it together. Please obey all the laws.
Yeah.
Oh, we've come to a break. Stretch break.
It is. Yes, it's time for a quick stretch, washroom, water, late lunch, whatever you need to do right now. Take that time to get a little break from your screen. Maybe go outside and take a breath of fresh air. The conference has been going on for a while and it's very interesting, but it's also good to sort of rest your eyes for a little bit every once in a while. So.
Yeah.
Make sure to put your ideas in the chat if you have any ways that you de-stress personally.
Yeah.
Make sure to share them with us because we would love to hear them. That's kind of our next topic after the break.
Yeah. So we'll be back at 1:50. And until then, take some time for yourself.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. We lost Emiko. That's okay.
Yeah, she had to go, but that's okay. Me and Victoria are going to continue on with our presentation.
Hopefully you had a lovely stretch. And yeah, now time to continue our presentation. Okay, so we want to start this next segment with a check-in. So if you could kindly put in the chat how you're feeling on a scale from 1 to 4, because we really do care about how you're feeling. And we'll probably jump into that in a little bit.
Yeah, and all these lovely little icons are drawn by Victoria. They're very beautiful.
See faces. So you may be wondering what all this has to do with youth council. And the short answer is because first of all, we do care how you're doing. It is kind of our job at the moment. Julie, you want to tell everyone about the youth council? Like, what does the youth council do for those who don't know?
So the Youth Council is composed of many different members around Canada. We actually have one member from British Columbia and one member from Alberta, and we all work together to create different initiatives surrounding equity, diversity, and inclusion, as well as, let's say, accessibility, like green. We'll talk about Project Green coming up, and yeah, it's just all around trying to create a better environment in First.
Which is why we would really appreciate it if you complete the check-in. And also the Menti that we have at the end of the presentation, but you don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're good to move on.
To go.
So how can you get involved with the Youth Council? Because as Julia and I just stated, it is our job to better the First experience for students and hopefully everyone. So how you can get involved with the Youth Council is, I think the number one thing you can do is check out our Instagram, because that's where all our initiatives are posted, as well as the website. But the Instagram will have links to the website. And our Instagram is just First Robotics Canada. Probably very simple to remember. So if you want to give that a follow, that would be lovely. And something that you can get involved with really soon is the Project Green cleanup.
Yeah, I think Emily has been a great organizer for that, and that is coming up this Saturday, so make sure to be looking for details on First Canada's Instagram.
Yeah, and we also have more details on the website, which is also a wonderful place to go if you want to learn more about any of our initiatives, which we may talk about later. And as always with Project Green, make sure you're following the rules, social distancing rules.
Yeah.
You can read more about that on the website. Next slide.
All right, so if you've been on the Instagram, you'll see that Recharge Our Bot Challenge is coming up. So more details will be released about that soon, but I'm personally really excited for this. If you win, you can get a chance to receive $1,000 off of your registration fee, which I find really exciting. And yeah, there's also the Girls at STEM Olympics coming up, hosted by Team 1240. And I heard that this event is really exciting and really fun, so I will probably be signing up for that, and you should as well. I think, Victoria, did you participate in that?
I have not participated in it yet, but I think I should sign up. I encourage everyone to sign up.
Yeah, definitely. And you can find all of these on the First Canada's Instagram.
Yes, so again, if you want to give that a follow, that would be absolutely lovely. Oh, we reached the Menti.
Yes, so if everyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically just an interactive online platform. So if everyone wants to go to www.menti.com, you can submit answers to the questions we're going to be asking.
I have to unlock it first.
Oh, yes.
So the Menti should be unlocked.
So
And now
everyone,
we would love to hear from you guys, because that is basically our purpose. We really want to serve the first community.
Yeah. So if you see the code up at the top, 8887709, you just put that in and then you can answer some of this question. So the question is, what do you want to be doing this season in regards to first, and how can the Youth Council help you achieve that?
So I think in the meantime, we can talk about other miscellaneous items. For example, do you want to talk about accessibility? I think accessibility is a wonderful thing that we can have a chat about right now.
Is. So we are actually, the Youth Council has recently been talking about subtitles on videos, because as you know, we have First Canada Live and we have, let's say, conferences like these. So maybe if you're part of the hard of hearing community, you might not be able to participate in this because there's no subtitles. So that's one thing we're looking into creating. I know there's different sort of websites such as otter.ai, which will create a live transcript. But if anyone has any suggestions on different ways to be more accessible, please drop them in the chat. We'd love to hear about that. I don't know if you have anything to add on, Victoria.
I do believe we're looking into live subtitles for First Canada Live.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be exciting.
Oh, we got some initiatives coming up here. Green initiatives. Yes, very important. Keep the team active and build on a great first 5 years. Definitely create a more diverse team. And we actually are in the middle of coming up with a plan for equity, diversity, and inclusion, which more info will be released on that soon, hopefully. Help out more rookie teams. We do have a rookie support branch this year. Training programs for all members. Yes, definitely. Suggest fun activities that our team can do remotely. We definitely do love some fun activities and team bonding. Rookie support. I see lots of that, definitely.
Should we talk about last year's Youth Council initiatives that maybe people weren't aware of?
Sure. Do you want to start us off with that?
I know one thing that was running in the summer was First Foodie Fridays, yes. Which is basically our healthy eating initiative, and it is coming back this year. It's making a comeback. And we will be posting Instagram posts about different foods. We will have activity sheets. If competitions do come back, I hope they do, in-person competitions, we will have food maps, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that.
We also had
other tips, Julia?
Yeah, I think this is both of ours first year on Youth Council, but I did see First Diversity First, which was a great campaign talking about different, perhaps maybe unrepresented groups. So we had different Instagram posts going out talking about people like that. And then we also had Mental Health Mondays, which I think we're going to possibly continue. I don't want to say too much. And for First Foodie, that the first one actually came out this Friday, which I'm really excited about. And yeah.
Absolutely. You should absolutely check that out.
Definitely. So we've got some more initiatives. First Nations highlights and focus. Definitely. We're gonna hopefully be posting some stuff during Indigenous Month. So stay tuned for that. How FRC teams can help the local FTC and FLL remotely. Yeah, for FLL this year, I usually mentor a team. And because of COVID, I'm not able to meet with them in person. So what I've been doing is they've been sending me drafts of their projects to review, or just to give them feedback and share their project with me. And I just help them out whenever they need it, which is awesome.
I think it's great that we keep a connection still with the FTC and FLL teams, even if we can't do it in person.
Yes, for sure. All right. Give it a few more minutes to see if anyone else wants to submit some ideas.
I know another initiative we had was we are also really into equity, diversity, and inclusion. We had one video go up for that. We had a video series of I think it was microaggressions and how you can mitigate that, and that was with last year's youth council, and that video was really cool. So if you haven't checked that out, you should check that out. You can find the link on First Robotics Canada's Instagram, their link in the bio. So yeah, that's quite awesome. You should check that out.
Yeah, for sure. I think I watched that video. We also have modules linked in the First Canada's Instagram to give you a better training for equity, diversity, and inclusion. Definitely recommend completing those. They're great resources.
That could be a team activity. We also recommend completing those with your team.
Yeah.
Like an experience. It's definitely not an experience that would be good by yourself. I think it's better if you do it with everyone else. It's also the team bonding, and also you get to learn about equity, diversity, and inclusion, and that is always a wonderful thing, especially on FRC teams, because we always strive to do better, right?
For sure. Yeah, that's what we love doing. We always love learning about new stuff. Yeah, should we open it maybe up to questions if anyone has any?
Oh, yes, questions.
So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. I don't know if I can open up the live stream. While we wait, not Emily, oh my goodness, Victoria, I'm so sorry. Do you want to maybe share your favorite moment from FRC? Maybe to...
Okay. I think my favorite moment from FRC was 2019 when my team, 5406 Celtics, we went to Detroit. We won our division, Archimedes, and we lost the world championship by 1 point.
Oh, that was very exciting.
It was a good experience, not ignoring the whole losing by 1 point thing. It was just a super surreal experience, just getting that far. Honestly.
I bet.
I would love to experience that again. Maybe win. I don't know. Julia, what about you?
I would say my favorite moment. Let's see, probably my very first FRC competition. I know lots of people are probably the same because it was just really great to experience that atmosphere firsthand. And yeah, it was a great time and a great team building thing. And it went really well. We ended up winning the Rookie All-Star Award, which is really exciting. And we ended up winning another award at our next competition, the Rookie Inspiration Award. So then this year we only got to compete, or last year we only got to compete once, which was really sad, but have to be thankful because some teams didn't even get to compete due to Corona. Hopefully this year we are able, even if it's like a virtual competition, I don't know.
Thank you for sharing. We also encourage everyone to share in the chat.
For sure.
Like a roundtable discussion. Everyone can come in and discuss. So I think that's all the Menti responses.
I think so too.
Thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts. These will really help us out. We, of course, like we've stated many, many times, we really love hearing what all of you have to say, because it is our job to serve you, make your experience better. And we will do whatever we can to achieve that goal.
For sure.
And if there aren't any questions, that might be all from us.
I think I see some questions.
Oh, there are questions? Awesome.
There are questions.
Yeah, there are some questions in the Twitch chat.
Awesome.
Okay.
So do you want me to just go through them?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So are these initiatives posted on other platforms than Instagram? It's like, do you have other platforms that we can look at?
I know Victoria talked about the website. I think we'll be posting stuff on that soon. And
Instagram is our main platform. We do have Twitter, which is also First Robotics Canada, I believe. Some initiatives might be posted there, but we should definitely look into posting more of our initiatives on, and not just Instagram, because we realize that not all of our audience is on Instagram.
yeah,
That's a good point. We will look into that. Definitely.
Twitter and Team Blast, as Emily said.
Cool. Will the youth council have online events in lieu of the in-person ones?
So far we haven't had any word on that. I know last year we had an in-person summit, which I wish we could do again, like even online.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be great. That would be a great experience. Something like this.
Yeah, we've participated in lots of online events so far. First Canada Live, we've had a segment on, and for example, conferences like this, we have participated in, but so far we haven't hosted any online events at the moment. Maybe coming up in the future. Yeah.
Again, definitely something to look into, for sure.
Yeah, these are great ideas. Thank you.
Great questions so far, everyone.
And yeah, that's all of them so far. I don't know if there are going to be any more.
Cool.
Okay.
With that, I think that might be all from us.
Perfect. Thank you so much for allowing us to come talk.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for being a great audience, submitting your ideas in the chat, and just for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye. They're still screen sharing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, okay. Thank you everyone for coming down to the conference. I don't see any more questions. So yeah. Thank you to the Youth Council there. That was very informative, very interactive. Appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for coming by this weekend. It was a great conference. Thank you for being so engaged, asking questions, all that. If you missed any sessions, there will be presentation slides posted on our website at 2056.ca/conference. And yeah, those should be up in a few days. And yeah, thanks again and have a good one.